Let's check out our lineup today. Here on The Now, we're looking into a new idea that is sure to spark a lot of opinions, allowing regular people to report and hand out parking tickets. Plus, one rabbi is taking an unconventional approach to make sure places of worship are protected, what he's teaching people to do before police arrive. Well, and you could soon use your phone to diagnose a common issue in kids without waiting for a doctor. We're going to talk to the people making that possible.
And we start you off here at 5:30 with a check of the weather, and you're going to be looking at the west or the left side of your screen there, the sheets of rain coming down in the downtown Indianapolis area. On the right side is our live drive around Boone County, and we have had some wind gust reports in Nora, also Carmel, of 60-mile-per-hour gusts with these storms as they're rolling through and producing some torrential rainfall. We have our severe thunderstorm watch that continues until 9 o'clock, including Indianapolis, Crawfordsville through Bloomington and Seymour, mainly for one complex of thunderstorms that's making its way southeast through the central portion of the state. We still have our severe thunderstorm warning here for this storm moving into portions of Vermilion and Park counties. Still could have some hail in excess of 2 inches in diameter here as this storm is racing to the southeast. That thunderstorm warning until 5:45, and then we have that next complex of thunderstorm activity also moving pretty quickly to the southeast through downtown right now, moving through Indianapolis into Greenwood by about 6 till 6 this evening. As far as that severe thunderstorm warning includes portions of Boone, Hamilton, Hendricks, as well as on to Henry County for that thunderstorm warning here until 5:45 as well. Could have some strong gusty winds, possibly some hail. We'll watch that complex of showers and thunderstorms pushing out here. As we get to around 9:30 tonight, things should start to quiet down. We'll take a look at the additional thunderstorms possible into tomorrow in a few minutes. Amanda.
All right, thanks, Kyle. And this is the Now Indy on RTV6. I'm Amanda Starantino. One local hospital system says it's trying to reduce its carbon footprint and hopes it could improve your health. IU Health says all of the sophisticated medical equipment is not what uses the most energy. It's the boilers and chillers in the basement. The hospital system's energy team is replacing them with more efficient versions over the next few years. They are also putting in $2 million worth of LED lights this year to cut electricity costs. The energy savings at Methodist Hospital alone is the equivalent to removing 2,500 cars from the road.
So not only good medical outcomes, but also having, a good environment, a good healthy state for all of us to live in. And we feel like as the largest healthcare provider in the state of Indiana, we have a role to play in that.
The IU Health Energy team is also starting programs for cardboard recycling and food composting. Now, energy-saving initiatives will be put into place at all 17 IU Health hospitals. And later this month, Purdue will hold a public meeting about proposed tuition and fees at several of its campuses. The fee changes, and in some cases, tuition changes will go into effect starting in the 2019-2020 and 2020-2021 academic years. On Purdue's West Lafayette campus, the proposal does not call for a tuition increase. But the school is proposing a 3% average increase in the flight program fees for 2020 and a 5.6% increase for 2020. However, Purdue is asking to raise tuition by 1.6% at the Fort Wayne and Northwest campuses. The public hearing about these proposed changes will be May 29th at 11 in the morning at the Stewart Center on Purdue's West Lafayette campus.
American and European authorities say that hackers took $100 million in a series of malware attacks. That starts our news feed. 10 people from Eastern Europe have been charged in this. Authorities say they infected tens of thousands of computers. The victims range from a church in Texas to a Washington law firm and a casino in Mississippi. 5 new states announcing opioid lawsuits today. Iowa, Kansas, Maryland, West Virginia, and Wisconsin are suing Purdue Pharma. 45 states are suing the company at this point. Purdue makes OxyContin. Former President Jimmy Carter now out of the hospital after breaking his hip this week. It happened while he was leaving to go turkey hunting on Monday. Now, he had surgery. He continues to recover, but he does say he wants to teach Sunday school this weekend. A big change is coming to the SAT. Now, not the test itself, but how schools view the scores. The College Board, the company that runs the test, says that it's developed what it calls an adversity score. It's designed to paint a picture of a college applicant's background. Now, the Wall Street Journal reports that things like poverty in the neighborhood, a family's education level, and the opportunities available at a student's high school will factor into this adversity score. Now, it's been in beta testing, then 150 schools will start using it this fall and many more the following year. Students will never see it, only the colleges. Now, we talked to Michelle Hernandez-Bayless. She's a former admissions officer at Dartmouth and now runs top-tier admissions, which helps students prepare for college. She says that it is hard to know just how those different factors are being weighted to get the score. She says many colleges already have that information. Now, she also says the biggest and best picture of a student goes beyond the numbers.
There's a lot of other more interesting things that kids do in terms of leadership, high impact that comes across in letters of recommendation, their teachers, their guidance counselor, outside recommendations, their activity sheet of what they've done, what impact have they had in their community. So there are all these sort of intangibles that can't really be represented by a number, and that's really what differentiates the kids at top schools.
Now, Hernandez also says to remember the SAT is a business and it's in competition with the ACT. An ACT spokesperson told the Wall Street Journal the company is investing resources to develop a similar tool. Well, getting an unexpected parking ticket, that is, few things can be worse than that, right? But there may be a little bit of an extra sting if you were to find out that one of your neighbors gave it to you. We're checking out a new idea to let regular people become parking police.
Locations.
The only name you need to know.
And we're continuing to track some strong to severe thunderstorms across central Indiana for you this evening. This is the view in Broad Ripple, and you can see the downpours of rain that continue with these thunderstorms. So bringing down that visibility, but also some gusty winds, some hail potential within these as well. We've had several reports of wind gusts around 60 miles per hour. Let's take you to Storm Team 6 radar here, and you can see where we've got these active warnings. Currently, severe thunderstorm warnings that are in place. Still, this one that's moving into portions of Park County into the Rockville area, getting ready for some of that very heavy rainfall here and possibly some of that large hail in excess of 1 inch to possibly 2 inches in diameter. We'll say the orange colors have dropped out as we're looking at the hail here, so we're down to pink, but that's still some very large hail, possibly 1 inch to 1.5 inches in diameter with that storm. And then the rain and thunderstorms that are moving through Indianapolis right now into the Greenfield area, primarily a gusty wind threat here. 60-mile-per-hour winds are possible, but you can also see since last time we talked, there has been an extension of that severe thunderstorm warning into portions of Johnson County as those storms are knocking on the door for you in Greenwood. So now your severe thunderstorm warning until 6:15. Here's a look from the Motor Speedway. So these storms are moving pretty quickly, already starting to see some brightening skies and dropping temperatures into the lower 60s. Amanda has an update on those power outages.
And Kyle, we are getting the most recent numbers on those outages. For Duke Energy, there is 9,000 outages in Carmel and Westfield at this time. IPL is reporting 994 outages in Nora and Castleton, and there are 300 outages on the northeast side. Now, we will continue to get more information in. Stay with us on air and on the RTV6 app.
Getting a parking ticket is never fun. Now, what if you find out that this wasn't from a traffic cop? Well, Corey Rangel is looking at an idea to let regular people hand out parking tickets.
The dreaded parking ticket. You see them handed out all the time across the country. But D.C. residents could start getting tickets from their neighbors, not just traffic cops or meter maids.
We don't have enough enforcement officers.
Councilman Charles Allen came up with the idea. About 80 people around the district would be trained and then certified to issue parking tickets. They would then use a mobile app to take a picture of the violation, and the ticket would be sent in the mail.
When someone is creating an immediate safety hazard, there needs to be a consequence. And so having the ability to have more, essentially, enforcement take place, all those little violations that are happening all the time that impact our safety, that make our streets less safe, to be able to have enforcement get magnified is part of having safer streets.
Residents aren't so sure about the idea.
Someone's getting upset that a citizen is giving out tickets, it could become violent.
Of course, I agree with anyone being safe, walking our streets and riding our bikes.
If they have an axe to grind against their neighbor, then they would be taking it out on their neighbor, writing them a ticket if they're not doing what they need them to do.
If passed, the plan would go through a trial period to see if it works out. The idea is part of a larger bill to make streets safer after a series of deadly crashes involving pedestrians and cyclists. The proposal also includes lowering speed limits, new sidewalks and bike lanes, as well as better crosswalk markings.
It's time for us to take safety more seriously. We lost over 30 people last year. We're over 10 people this year already on our streets in D.C.
A vote on the bill is not expected until later this year. In Washington, D.C., I'm Corey Rangel reporting.
All right, Corey, thank you. Let's get back to our lineup. And after a number of attacks on religious people, one rabbi has had enough.
We're not sheep. We're not victims. We're not going to just be just taking this kind of abuse. If we need to defend our communities and our family, we will absolutely do so.
How he's teaching people to respond before police arrive.
At Ross, yes for less.
And welcome back on this Thursday evening. Active weather across central Indiana, and we are checking out some of that heavy rainfall on the north side at 19th and Talbot Street as those storms have been moving through. And now we have new additional warnings to pass along to you, and that does include a tornado warning in portions of Vermilion as well as Park counties. You can see this is just to the southwest of Rockville at this time. A lot of lightning with this storm as well. This is a radar indicated tornado. Get you the latest information from the National Weather Service here, and this is going until 6:15 tonight. The Weather Service saying at 5:44 that storm capable of producing a tornado was just to the northwest of Clinton or 14 miles northeast of Paris, moving southeast, Kevin, at 20 miles per hour.
And Kyle, that's been the storm that's been by itself all day from Illinois now down into portions of southwest or west central Indiana. We'll go to computer A here if we can. There's the warning, and we've got thunderstorm warnings from Indianapolis southeast, damaging wind the main threat. There's your tornado warning for Park and Vermilion County until 6:15. This is just to the southwest of Rockville, thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. There's the core just to the west of 41 and along 36 west of Rockville. See this little spin? That's an indication this is a rotating storm. It has a history of golf ball size hail. Did produce some tornado warnings, no confirmed tornadoes over in Illinois. We look into the storm right here, just west of Rockville, south of 36. This couplet signaling the strong rotation, thus the tendency or possibility of producing a tornado. This will move from northwest to southeast. It will cut across 41. Between Terre Haute and Rockville, northern Vigo County, then into Park County as it cuts across 41. There's another view of the storm. You can see it moving. It's almost been making a little bit of a right turn. We'll have some other storms merge with this. We'll see how it holds together. But downstream a little bit, those of you in northern Clay County, prepare to go to a place of safety, the basement, the lowest level of your home, as that storm continues to move by itself and have real strength and the potential to produce a tornado. This line of storms just north of Bloomington, really through Martinsville, Franklin, Shelbyville to Newcastle, will race to the south and east. Anywhere out ahead of that, those of you from Columbus to Greensburg to Rushville, Connorsville, and Richmond, the damaging wind threat with that line of storms. It also has produced some hail, generally pea-size hail, and then blinding rainfall, kind of rainfall where you have to pull off to the side of the road. We've also seen just a dramatic change in the sky. In other words, almost pitch black, seemingly, here at 5:48 when the sun doesn't set until we get to almost 9 o'clock. There's the view downtown Indianapolis. This is a Weather Now camera. Kyle's got some more information as we track the tornado warning for Park and Vermilion counties. Kyle?
Yeah, and Kevin, just continuing to get some additional storm reports in this afternoon in the Brownsburg area. Some wind gusts around 60 miles per hour as the storms moved through there. So let's take you in here, Storm Team 6 radar, and this is that tornado-warned storm. You can see Highway 36 here south of Newport that runs right through the Rockville area. Here's Highway 41, and this is moving southeast at around 20 miles per hour. So we've got that radar indicated rotation here, and as we track this southeast, moving rather slowly at this point, but moving toward the Clinton area. You can also see into Rosedale at 624, Bridgeton as we get to 637 for you, and on to the southeast from there. Let's go ahead and look again inside the storm, and as Kevin was pointing out here, you can still see this pretty well defined. We're looking at those winds inside the storm, and this is all relative relative to the Weather Service radar site out at the Indianapolis International Airport. And once we see these reds, these are the winds that are going away from the radar. The greens are all going toward the radar site. And so once we get that kind of couplet here, that red and green together, that's where we have that radar indicated rotation. And there you can see again the tornado warning, southwestern portions of Park County, also into southern portions of Vermilion County, that until 6:15. And then we have the continuation of severe thunderstorm warnings through portions of Hendricks and Marion County, now extends into Morgan as well as Johnson County, through Rushville, Shelbyville as well. So here's that line and complex of thunderstorms moving through Greenfield. You've moved through Greenwood. You're still dealing with some heavier rainfall, but Franklin, get ready for some gusty winds, and especially where we see this bowing out a little bit more towards Shelbyville, would not be surprised to have some winds around 60 miles per hour or a little bit higher for you. Everyone north and west, though, of there, just dealing with some lighter rain, kind of in the clear at this point. Here's a look at some of those storm reports, and we have had some damage reports on the north and northeast side of the city. Some reports of trees coming down on some power lines there, and there are a couple of those wind gust reports. Then you can see that one storm we had been tracking that's now moved into extreme western portions of Indiana, but when it was in Illinois, produced some damage reports of not only some wind gusts, but also some hail, and you continue to see that getting added on here. Let's check out the latest one into parts of Vermilion County for you. And what's just coming in from storm spotters there, 1.3-inch diameter hail in the Newport area in Vermilion County, Kevin.
And that's the strongest storm. That's also where the tornado warning is in effect. Conditions look a little better from Indianapolis. This is a speedway downtown to Indianapolis. Back to Computer A. We'll follow kind of twin storms. One of them is a single storm. The other is a complex of storms, a large mass of thunderstorms that's rolling to the south and east. On Computer A, we can show you where tornado warning sits in portions of... Oh, hang on one second. I just got myself confused. I'm on Computer A. Western portions of the state, Park and Vermilion County, there's your warning. Thunderstorm warnings from Hendricks County through Indy down to Rushville and Greensburg. The tornado warning in effect here until about 6:15. Rolling south and east, it's had a history of producing large hail, torrential rainfall, and rotation. In other words, signaling the potential to produce a tornado. We've got the storm track on this. It will come right across 41. Heart of this is near Montezuma. You're hearing tornado warning sirens. Should be in the lowest level of your home now in an interior hallway or bathroom. From Terre Haute on up to Rockville, this will cross, moving south and east, cross through 41 and into northern Clay County. There's the area of rotation just to the west of 41, south of 36. This is west of Rockville. Should be familiar with this if you live in Vermilion County, Park, or northern portions of Vigo County. This has had a long track from northern Illinois now all the way into the state of Indiana, cutting through Park County. The worst of this looks to be south of Rockville along 41, north of Terre Haute. Keep our eye on this as it continues to move toward Brazil and northern Clay County. As you tune in, you're wondering what's happening in your area. Let me say from Indianapolis and Muncie northwest, severe threat for now has ended. From Indianapolis down to Bloomington south east is where the severe threat will continue, mainly with damaging wind with that line of storms that's moving 45 miles per hour or faster. As we zoom in, Franklin, Shelbyville, Rushville, through just east of Newcastle now, the big push with this already moving 45 miles per hour to the south and east. Then you add the heavy rain that falls out of that, and it drags even stronger winds from the mid-level of the storm. On I-74 between Shelbyville and Greensburg, torrential rainfall anywhere east of Indianapolis along Interstate 70 or US 40 between Indy and Newcastle will be deteriorating conditions. There are the storm reports, lots of wind and hail reports. We've had numerous power outages as a result. And let me just mention, we're kind of set up here because the ground is so moist from the frequent rainfall that the ground is soft. With these strong winds, it's much easier to topple a tree as a result of the saturated ground. Here's the storm in Park County. This is the hail with this, where it produced golf ball size hail. Now it's into Park and Vermilion County. We've had a couple of storms into Hendricks and also from Boone through the northwest side of Indianapolis, where we had the pea-size hail reported in Marion County. That's part of the line that continues now to emerge on the southeast side of Indianapolis. As far as our continuing threat, because as the line moves through, the severe weather threat will be coming to an end before long in Indy. Technically, the watch is in effect until 9 o'clock, but that will be areas south and east. Damaging wind and hail, the main threats. Can't rule out an isolated tornado. You definitely feel the rain-cooled air. Look at Indy at 61, while it's 82 in Bedford, 61 in Crawfordsville, temperature in Greensburg at 74. Kyle has more on the active storms.
And Kevin, one report coming in from the Mooresville area, some wind gusts of about 50 miles per hour as the storms moved through there for you. If you are under that tornado warning, and we're going to show it to you here in just a second, but you want to be getting to that lowest interior level of your home. The basement is great if you've got one. Not all of us do. So if you've got an interior room, maybe an interior bathroom or a closet away from those windows, that's where you want to be getting to here as we continue with this tornado warning. So let's get you back over and show you what we've got going on here. You can see the complex of thunderstorm warnings around and south of Indianapolis, but here's that tornado warning. Portions of Vermilion and southwestern Park counties until 6:15. Still a radar indicated tornado. You can see around the Montezuma area. So again, here's US 36. We also have US 41 here into southwestern portions of Park County. So it's southwest of Rockville where we have the tornado threat, and still watching on radar where we have some of that radar indicated rotation here. And also where you see some of the darker returns, that's where we're likely seeing some of that larger hail. Had some reports out of this storm of about $half size hail. So about an inch, almost an inch and a half in diameter, some of the hail dropping out of the storm as it's sliding off here to the southeast. So as we track it from around the Clinton area right now, you can see it will continue on toward Bridgeton at 6:30, and then as we get toward the Brazil area at 6:48, continuing into northern portions of Clay County for us. So that is kind of the lone storm, and because it's all by itself, that's why it has that ability to spin a little bit better, and that storm continues to breathe and live on here. We see these brighter greens and reds that are in portions of Vermilion County right now, south of Highway 36 here, but again, going to be impacting southwestern portions of Park County along Highway 41. So this is where we're watching for that area of rotation and possible tornado about to cross from Vermilion into portions of Park County. Still have this line of thunderstorms. It's pretty much cleared the Indianapolis area, just dealing with some lighter rain at this point, but it's moving in towards Shelbyville, also central portions of Johnson County, and you can see how it's been racing toward the southeast, bringing some of those stronger wind gusts also toward Newcastle. Rushville, you'll be getting in on some of that heavier rain, but already back behind that, the sky is starting to brighten up a little bit after these storms have been producing some strong gusty winds. Just checking in, and actually the Dana area, Vermilion County, had some train spotters reporting 2.5-inch diameter hail. That was around 5:30, so a short time ago. And the update, Kevin, from the National Weather Service on that tornado warning, saying that it continues until 6:15 around the Clinton area right now, and tennis ball size hail possible. Several wall clouds also spotted.
And so we'll break that down. They've had golf ball size hail in Illinois, now the large hail in Indiana. We mentioned then what we call a wall cloud. It's a lowering of the cloud base, and if you were just standing there looking at it, you would see it rotating, and that is the reason why tornado warning is issued before a tornado. The likelihood is increased of a tornado in a situation like that. That's your warning. It's in effect until 6:15 for Park and Vermilion counties. There's the storm just to the southwest of Rockville, north of Terre Haute, about ready to cross over 41. A closer view shows you this strong rotation in here. Remember, just like you've had at your house, this blinding rainfall, this is surrounded by that very heavy rainfall, has produced very large hail, All indications are it could produce a tornado at any time. So seek shelter in the lowest level of your home. This is just a bit north of Terre Haute, right along 41, and you can follow this to the south and east as I storm track that. Rosedale, Burnett, Sealyville, Brazil, and northern Clay County, all in the path of this storm. Here's I-70 and US 40 as you come west out then of Putnam County, west of Cloverdale, west of Greencastle. Other storms on the southeast side of Indianapolis, mainly damaging wind threat. You can begin to see the outline here that kind of curves from northern portions of Brown County, curving to the north and east into Shelby County, through Newcastle, then to around Winchester, Portland, and Richmond as it slides to the south and east. Those of you in Shelbyville just had the big burst of wind out ahead of this. Now you're getting the heavy rain. Next up along Interstate 74 will be Greensburg, Rushville, Connorsville, over to Richmond. Expect 40 to 50 mile per hour winds with isolated 60 mile per hour gusts. That's why we have numerous reports of power outages as a result of this complex of storms rolling through. Here are the most recent storm reports, the hail reports, wind reports. In western Indiana, we're keeping an eye then on that storm producing the very large hail. You can see the different colors here representing the increase in size, larger than golf ball size hail, as it moves out of Illinois and into Indiana. That's also an indication of the overall strength of the storm. The larger the hail it can produce, the more intense the storm. Damaging wind and hail to main threats, isolated tornadoes, obviously a possibility. That's why we've got the lone tornado warning. It's not a coincidence that it's with the storm that sits all by itself at this point. We'll kind of reset. Thanks for watching RTV6. We've got an active couple hours here. The news at 6 starts right now.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Break-in in the middle of the day, it's an increasing problem according to police. We'll show you what you can do to protect yourself.
A community says it has found a way to reduce crime and get young people on their feet. Now it's challenging other neighborhoods to do the same. A Storm Team 6 alert, a tornado warning for 2 counties in western Indiana, part of a stormy Thursday that we're tracking for you. Good evening, I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starantino. Park and Vermilion counties under that warning, and closer to home, heavy rain has already moved in from the west. In fact, it drenched the speedway, causing them to stop practice runs early, and we've gotten hail pictures from the northwest side. So we're going to get right over to Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory for the very latest on this.
And let's show you quickly as the storms rolled through Marion County. We had 2 different rounds of storms with blinding rainfall. That kind of just skirted our Weather Now camera. The next wave of storms that came through produced hail, pea-size hail, torrential rainfall, and just pretty much eclipsed everything. Made it seem like midnight instead of 6 in the evening. The active warning, tornado warning, capable of producing